harmed.
Tim McIndoe.
After I spoke in the committee debate last Thursday, I had to leave the chamber, so I wasn't present when my commitment to highlighting the issue of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder and to supporting measures that would reduce its incidence were questioned disingenuously by an opposition member. I am confident that the fine folk of Alcohol Health Watch, who lead the charge in this area, and the remarkable Shirley Winner-Carey, who was a tireless campaigner on the issue in my electorate of Hamilton West, will confirm that I have been a vigorous champion of the FASD cause for all the time I've been a Member of Parliament. While MPs' increasing awareness of FASD hasn't translated into Parliament meeting all of Alcohol Health Watch's aims, I think that they may feel confident that theirs is a respected and increasingly heard voice in our Parliament, and that has to be a good thing for our future mothers and their babies. The Labor member who attacked me last Thursday said I should put my money where my mouth was by supporting her amendment, although she must have known that it was outside the scope of this bill and could not be adopted for reasons that were explained to the House by the Associate Minister of Justice. For the record, I am not only aware that there is measurable public support for introducing health warning labels, I was one of the first MPs in New Zealand to make a written submission to the Australia-New Zealand Ministerial Council Review Panel in support of alcohol being mandated to carry health warnings. However, because of our agreement with Australia, any changes to alcohol labelling must be developed through the Joint Food Standard. That is why labelling was deemed to be outside the scope of this bill and the inconsistent amendment was rejected. I understand that the Joint Ministerial Review of Food Labelling Law and Policy has resulted in both governments recently agreeing to give the alcohol industry 2 years to introduce pregnancy warning labels on alcoholic beverage containers, and that we have the option to regulate if they fail to do so. While I would like it to be sooner, I am reassured to know that it is happening, and I remain fully supportive of the warning labels. Mr. Speaker, the expected enactment of this bill today is a significant step forward for New Zealand. I was pleased to hear a police officer during a TV1 news item at the weekend say how much he is looking forward to the bill's passage because of the local alcohol plans, the chance to stop all-night licensing hours, and so on. I met recently with the Mayor and councillors in my city of Hamilton to encourage them to get their local alcohol policy in place, and I commend them for their very positive moves in that regard. I'm the first to acknowledge that this bill won't solve all of our alcohol-related problems, and I believe that we must remain ready to respond in the future if future legislative change is required. But the fact remains that legislation alone cannot change a culture, and it is dangerous attitudes and a reckless approach to personal safety that are at the heart of New Zealand's alcohol abuse problems. Each and every one of us must do our bit to influence better decision-making by our friends and family, to teach our youth how to handle alcohol sensibly, to oppose irresponsible promotions and distribution of alcohol, to support our health workers and law enforcement officers who bear such a heavy burden whenever alcohol is abused, and so on. As this long process draws to its welcome conclusion, I want again to praise the Law Commission for the huge job they did researching the issues, consulting New Zealanders, and ultimately proposing reforms to this House that are overwhelmingly reflected in the bill that is soon to be enacted. Not all of their proposals made it, however. Members will know that I promoted an amendment seeking to increase the age for all categories of liquor purchases during the committee stages, as was mentioned a few moments ago by the Minister of Justice, and as was recommended by the Commission. It was narrowly defeated, and I believe that most New Zealanders were hugely disappointed at that outcome. But I thank those members who chose to support it. We have dropped the ball in that respect. I congratulate the Honourable Judith Collins for the many fine amendments she promoted on this bill in her supplementary order paper, such as the tighter controls on liquor displays and measures to prevent irresponsible liquor advertising and promotions. I'm especially pleased by the Minister's empowering of parents and guardians to control the supply of alcohol to minors. That's a bold and crucial step. It will help to avert the type of tragedies we've all been aware of during this debate in recent years. and I offer my deep sympathy to the families who have suffered those terrible losses. Mr. Speaker, there's been a lot of discussion of what isn't in the bill, and I do respect the views of all who have taken a close interest in this issue. But today is the time to welcome all that is in the bill, and I remain confident that the measures in this bill will make a positive difference. Now is the time for us to put them into action and for all of us to commit to making them work. Mr. Speaker, that is my firm intention. I raise a point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order to Magna.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table the submission that I made on the 10th of May 2010 to the Australia-New Zealand Ministerial Council Review Panel in support of alcohol being mandated to carry health warnings.
Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there anyone opposed to that course of action? There is none. Leave is granted. Next speaker, taking the call. Ian Lees Galloway.
Well, Mr. Speaker.